one thing. I want everybody to look at me. I'm going to pass it to Corn after I say one thing. That's a W. Let's eat one. Let's eat one. That's a W. How many people want to eat a W tonight? How many eat a W tonight?
We're back, and if you watch, there's a third person on our screen, and we are doing a soccer episode. So we brought Aaron on because neither Brian or me know anything about soccer. I actually asked who was good this year, and my guess was France, and I'm not sure are they good. Who knows? They're usually not good at stuff, except for having an alien as a basketball player. And I also saw, actually, you know what, Aaron, what's up, man? How are you doing?
Hello, guys. Thanks for long-time listener. Nice to
yes, there you go.
One-time fantasy football drafter. So been in the background before, but yeah, no, good. I'm happy to be
first time on camera though. First time on camera.
First time on camera, and long-time soccer expert. So
yes,
long-time soccer expert. Brian, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I know. I mean, like you said, I know nothing about soccer, so I couldn't tell you shit, and that's why Aaron's here, because I know nothing. Yeah. This is probably our first soccer episode we've ever done.
Well, we tried to get into the soccer, but
it failed miserably.
That was a one and done kind of thing. Yeah. We picked a team and everything.
I think we had a conversation once, and then never followed up.
You talked about
picking
a team, I think and then you didn't pick a team.
We picked a team off camera, and then we never talked about it again. And that's just kind of how we roll. But yes, we picked like AC Milan or something like that because Christian Pulisic is on that team.
Still is, yeah. Rumor is our head coach after the World Cup might go be their head coach. So I think this is his only cycle and probably heading back to club. He's Italian, so makes sense.
Oh yeah, what's his name?
That's right, he's Italian.
Pochettino.
Oh, I mean that's most
just call him. Yeah, just call him Ponch.
Yeah. Okay, so I actually I was trying to think of questions I was going to ask you, but my first question I saw someone posted on Instagram. It was, in football terms, what are the USA's chances to win the World Cup? Like, what NFL team in the league is like them winning the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, we're a dark horse for sure. So the encouraging thing for me, so I guess a little background on me is I really buy in World Cup. It's my favorite sporting event. It comes around obviously once every 4 years, which is why I kind of, really try to soak it in. Like we're going to Chicago and maybe meeting up with Brian and basically just going to be at a bar the whole time. Whether it's the USA games or, pretty much anything. It's like March Madness for me. So it's an expanded field. So it used to be 32 teams. Now it's 48. So we're a dark horse for sure, but we've had two friendlies recently against Senegal, and who's actually good. Might surprise you guys, but they're actually, like, if you know the name Sadio Mane for Liverpool for years, like they're solid. And then we just played Germany, and we had more possession, more shots, more corners. We went toe to toe with them. Germany's not, the world champions that they used to be. They've aged out a lot of their guys that you may recognize. So they have a younger roster now, but they're still a top 10 team in the world. So, I mean, I'll give it to you in like division terms. Like, we're not a division favorite. I mean, there's groups in the World Cup, but we're a dark horse. So,
hold on. Let me ask. Let me just throw a couple teams. Let me just throw a couple teams at you.
Okay.
Are we? Like, if this year in the NFL, are we like the Lions to win the Super Bowl?
No.
Worse?
Yeah, down.
Really? Fuck.
Lions are good, man.
Yeah, but we're Team USA, dude. Brian, throw a team out.
Yeah.
Let me think. I'm not gonna say Browns.
I know you went right to Bengals. I know you went right to Bengals.
No, I'm not gonna go Bengals. Vikings.
This year's Vikings with Kyler Murray, or when they had Sam Darnold?
I was thinking
definitely not with JJ McCarthy. We're definitely better than that.
Okay, I was thinking last year. Yeah, I was thinking last year with JJ McCarthy. God,
what about Buccaneers?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, actually, that's a pretty fair comp. Because so actually that takes me into our group. So the NFC South, there's always that meme of like, thank God we're the only good team in this division, and it's all four of the teams saying that because none of the teams are like that good. So USA should be the top out of their group. The hardest team, there's four teams in each group. We have Turkey, Paraguay, and Australia. It would be us, in my opinion, then Turkey, then Paraguay and Australia. So you can kind of liken it as like the NFC South, where we're probably all looking around like, yeah, we got a chance. So I think that's a pretty good comp, because I think we're the most talented team that we've ever had relative to the rest of the world. So in terms of talent and European guys playing over in Europe, like this is the most we've ever had.
So do you think we got a good draw then in terms of what group we're in overall?
Yeah, I do. But also like you'd probably look at most of the top teams would look at their draw and think this year like, oh, we got a pretty good draw, because when you add that many more teams, it's
why do they add so many teams?
More games, more money.
Oh, that's a good point. That was a stupid question. I'm sorry. Fuck, I was going to ask something. I forgot. Anyway, keep going. I know nothing about soccer. I'm trying to think. What has been the best finish in the last 20 years?
For the U.S., I think in the U.S.'s history, I think the furthest we've gotten is a quarterfinal. I'd have to double check that, but
so Sweet 16.
Quarterfinal being final 8, so it goes finals, semifinals, quarterfinal. Yeah, like the Elite
Did
Eight.
you remember? I said this it's like 6 episodes ago. Remember? I was talking about this.
No,
I got the years wrong. Aaron remembers.
Well, yeah. Now that you say that, probably. But I was just checking your facts. We know, we never know with you. Let's be honest. But do you think we got a good draw because the World Cup is in the U.S.?
Yeah, that's actually a known and real thing. So FIFA does stuff. It's weird. They're known as kind of being like a little bit of a shady organization. They just are, and they squeeze every dollar out of fans. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to the ticket prices. Mm-hmm. They're absurd. Tailgating. Anyway, they're a tough organization, put it that way. So anyway, since we are the host nation, it's us, Canada, and Mexico. We went into, so they do basically like a random draw of teams, but each, depending on like your qualifying and how you went through FIFA qualifying, where you finished, you get put into certain buckets. So like, for example, Brazil, Argentina, France, Spain, like they were all in what's called like the A bucket. So when they're doing those random draws, you don't have a group where it's France and Spain end up in like the same group. So because we're a host nation, we were, and the United States, I don't know if Mexico and Canada were too. I'd have to check that, but I know for sure like we were in A. We were lumped in with those teams, so like we weren't going to get drawn with France. So because of that, we were in that A tier, and partly because we're a host nation.
And so that's that way you don't play against, like you don't get put in the groups with those other top tier teams essentially.
Right. So it goes down the line. You have your A pod. I think they call them pods. A pod, B, C, and then then it gets drawn out. So that way you don't have essentially you can think of it as 2-1 seeds ending up in the same group.
Okay.
So would it be
go ahead.
Yeah. Would it be a massive so if the United States doesn't make it out of this group staging, massive letdown? Catastrophic
failure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, pitchforks. Yeah. Especially with a water. Think about it. If there's that many more teams, you have to get out of your group. So they call it getting grouped. If you don't make it out, U.S. cannot get grouped. So 2 teams get out of every bracket, out of every pod, and then because they expanded it, there's a few, and they're already pre-designated. So some of the pods have a third place. You can finish in third and get out of your group, but it's only some of the groups, as I understand it. So if we win, because we're in the A, if we come in first in our group, we actually will play it's already preset. We would play a third place team that gets out of one of the other groups. So that's a big deal. You want to come in first in your group so that you have an easier draw. If we come in second, we're already designated to play a team that comes in second out of their pod. So obviously you're most likely the team that comes in third is probably not going to be as strong as the team that comes in second. So, so not only do you not want to get grouped, I mean, that's number one, but obviously it'd be nice to win your group so you get that easier first round knockout game.
What do you think the ultimate goal for the U.S. is to do in this?
I think get to the round of 16 and just kind of let the cards fall. Where, soccer's a weird game. They call it the cruelest sport in the world because, and I've been on unfortunately, you guys know, so I've been on the opposite end of some pretty heartbreaking games. And so they call it the most cruel sport in the world because you can dominate a game. One team can nick a goal early and then put 11 guys behind the ball and just defend and crowd the box. And they call it parking the bus or a low block. And it's extreme, even at the top level, it's extremely hard to score on. Like Arsenal just won the Premier League, and they're, their style of play is a lot different than everybody knows. Man City has been running the Premier League the last few years, and like they are more of a we'll go outscore. I mean, don't get me wrong, Pep's a tactical genius, offense and defense, but they were known a little more of being on the front foot as opposed to like Arsenal. What's like they were kind of known for, they call it like the Michael Arteta, that's their manager, like the Arteta block, and like if they get a goal, they're not afraid to just put 11 guys behind and just defend.
I heard they play unethical soccer. That's what the soccer people are saying.
Not a fun brand of soccer to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah, I heard the what was it, Champions League final? I heard that game was like super boring because they were both
it was a lot
not trying to score. But I also heard that's like usually how those championship games are played because they're almost too afraid to lose. So once you score, or if you're outmatched, you're just gonna play defense the whole game.
Yeah, and I think you'll kind of see that with the World Cup too, because it comes around once every 4 years. So this is like the Becca. At the Champions League, you get every year. Not that that's not massive; it is massive. But Premier League, Serie A, you get to fight for your domestic title every year. I mean, this is once in 4 years. So you'll see teams that are probably, it's not going to be as run and gun. It'll probably be a little more set piece based, a little more conservative than taking chances. It's just funny, just because the last World Cup final was like the all time most entertaining soccer game. Messi at his peak, Mbappe at his peak, and it was like the most entertaining. Like that doesn't typically happen in a World Cup where you're trying to, not lose. But that game was like the best soccer game I've ever watched, and it happened to be a World Cup final.
Yeah. Plus, you have Messi, who basically needed that to, complete his resume. So that definitely helped.
And Portugal's got a shot. So I've already thought about this. If it's like how simulation would it be that Portugal goes on some run, whether Ronaldo plays a big part or not, but somehow Portugal, they pull off the World Cup. I mean, they're a top 10 team. That wouldn't be like USA winning it. Like that would still be they have some, like Bruno Fernandes plays for
Portugal's plus 650, and that's the third best odds.
Is that third best? Yeah.
Third best. Yeah. So it goes Spain, France, Portugal. Portugal and England are both plus 650.
And Spain and France are France just behind Spain, right? Like they're pretty close.
Spain's 450, France is 475.
Yeah. So if Portugal were to win,
US?
it's just like how simulation would that
US
be?
is
That
plus
your
6,000.
debate.
Oh shit! Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
That's crazy.
You're saying there's a chance.
Yeah, there is a chance. I like those odds,
That's
honestly.
Of course you do.
Brian and I's betting styles are very different.
Yeah, so different. Completely different.
Wait. So you think if Portugal wins, it will supplant Ronaldo as the best ever?
No, I'm just saying how simulation of the world would it be to right now Messi pretty much has the upper hand because because he's got the World Cup title, and that's
wait, Ronaldo doesn't?
No,
really?
No.
Why do I feel like Portugal's always good?
They are always good. He's won some other. I can't remember if it was I don't think it was a Euro, but it was a nation. So there's another thing they do called the Nations League. I think they won that. It might have been a Euro, but anyway, Ronaldo does not have a World Cup title, and I'm just saying it would be funny if he were to get one here at the end of his twilight of his career. Then that GOAT debate would just be right back on pick your side, which I gravitate towards Messi personally, but
he's got hands for feet.
Awesome.
But how old is Ronaldo now?
He's got to be at least 37, if not more. Messi's 3 years younger than him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's 41.
Well, there we go. So that makes Messi 38. Yeah.
So in soccer, what is it the age? Like, obviously he's declining, but is he still playing like at the peak of his, or is he?
No, he's definitely lost a step. And he, to his credit, nobody's in, especially for his age, but his whole career, he was like one of those, diet, every training regimen and everything. I mean, he's in as good a shape as you possibly can be, which is funny because Messi's obviously in great shape too, but like they have very different styles of game. And so anyway, he's playing in Saudi Arabia now, and his team actually did just win their domestic league. So
is that league good?
I would put it. I don't know where they would rank it. It's definitely not like a top 5 league. You could kind of liken it. It's fun. You could liken it to the Live. So like they've just thrown money at these guys to come. So like Ronaldo, all these other guys are. It's kind of like the MLS, or we get guys kind of past their.
Who is this guy
coming over?
Comparing it to golf. Look at him, man. Wow, he came prepared. Oh man.
But I actually think that's like a pretty spot on comparison. Is that guys going to get the bag, and so it's definitely a better league now than it used to be, but it's definitely not like not even close to Premier League and Serie A and Liga 1 and all these other major domestic leagues across Europe.
Yeah, so I don't know any of those, but go ahead, Brian.
So I was going to say, so if you had to, based on where it sits, based on where the odds are, if you had to pick 2 teams to put money on, I know we have different styles of betting, but if you had to pick, all right, like one of the top 3 or whatever, one of your favorites, and then like a semi-long shot that you think has a chance.
Yeah, so it would have to be something in front of the USA, because as diehard as I am, it would be locked into all their games. Like that's not something I would throw my money on
right.
at all.
Yeah.
So I get Germany at plus 1100.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like they definitely have even though but it's funny I say that we just went toe to toe. I know it's a friendly, but look good. And one of the defenders that's been out there that's kind of been, I don't want to say he's definitely at fault for 1 or 2 goals, but he's been involved with a handful of goals that were not great goals. He's not going to be getting minutes. So our starting center back should be back. He had like a bad ankle sprain basically. And he hasn't played in any of these friendlies, so he should help shore up the defense a little bit.
For the U.S.
Yeah, like I said, for the U.S., yeah. And without him, we went toe-to-toe for, I think we started pulling starters around, more of the starters around, both teams did around like the 60th minute mark just because it was the last tune-up. But for, 60 minutes, we were right there with Germany. But to answer Brian's question, it's hard not to go, it would be pretty incredible if France got to a 3rd World Cup final in a row. That's pretty tough, as talented as they are. But I did see a ranking the other day. It was ranking the top 10 players in the tournament. And I forget whose ranking it was. I think it might have been, just like media outlets. But they had, in the top 5, France had 3 of the top 5, and they're all attackers. So it's like Mbappe, Dembele. They're going to have a nasty attack. To have 3 of the top 5 all in offense is pretty wild.
With that being said, I know they made the last 2, but since it's 4 years, every 4 years, do you think, that's very hard to do in like the NBA, NFL, and any other sport, or like NHL, because of fatigue playing all those games year after year? Do you think that 4-year layoff would kind of make that not really a thing?
Yeah, I don't subscribe to that at all. I actually hate past statistics like that, because I'm like, it's a different team, especially when it's 4 years apart. If anything, it should be a good thing. They all have the experience. I know it's a different squad, and some guys have fallen off, but
that could be a good thing, because fresh legs, new players.
Yeah, younger guys, but a lot of their core is still intact, and so I actually don't subscribe to passes just because they went to the last 2. I don't think that hurts their chances by any means to make it to now. I'm just saying it would be pretty incredible if you make it to 3 World Cup finals in a row. What a run by that country.
Damn. Wow. Okay. So,
but I think for the odds, like England's stacked, and you're saying they're at like plus
650.
Like, I think that's a pretty fair bet. They haven't won since like 1960. They always say it's coming home. Like that's kind of like the title, like their tagline. Like,
it's like Canadian NHL teams.
Yeah. So I mean, but they're absolutely loaded. Harry Kane might win the Ballon d'Or this year, best player, player of the year, basically for the whole world. He's been on a tear in the Germany league. He's playing for Bayern Munich right now, and he's been putting goals in the back of the net routinely. So he's in form. The rest of their team's loaded. So I think that's a pretty solid bet. If you want like a more of a dark horse, I don't know. It starts to get a little fuzzy. What's out of curiosity? What's the Netherlands odds?
I was just looking at that plus 1,600.
Yeah, so I mean that's decent. I'd feel more comfortable going with like an England or a Portugal, obviously. But
what about Belgium? What's Belgium at?
I was just about to say that, Brian. They're plus 3,000.
Oh, are they 3,000?
So Belgium have what's called like a golden generation. Like you guys know names like Lukaku and De Bruyne.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they're all older now. Eden Hazard, they had a Courtois, big goalie,
making them up.
So they were a favorite for the last couple cycles, and they just never really. They just didn't really seize the opportunity, I guess. But it was they were calling it like a golden generation because Belgium's not typically like a soccer powerhouse, but they were a crazy talented team. They're all older now. I would steer away from Belgium.
Okay.
So you said Senegal was a pretty good team, but they're plus 10,000.
Well, I meant like respectable. Like there wasn't like some like terrible team that the U.S. just was going to go beat on.
So it wasn't like Panama.
Yeah, I would take
250.
What are the worst odds? Are they the worst odds, Mike?
No, I don't even know how to say this country. Curacao?
Curacao?
I guess. I don't know, but plus 500,000.
Interesting.
Iraq is plus 250,000. Damn.
I mean, that's crazy they even offer those odds.
Yeah, people are putting like $1 on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm gonna throw $1 on it. I might do that.
Yeah. And cash out when they get a couple rounds.
Yeah. Nah, I don't even think they'd offer a cash out.
They probably wouldn't.
That'd be crazy.
No, probably not.
They probably wouldn't.
Yeah. Damn.
No, it's not worth it. That's
wow. Is there anything like specific that that you would know that? I mean, again, I know nothing, but as like a casual wouldn't know about. Like a nuance of the World Cup that you should think about if you're betting on it?
Well, I guess maybe, going back to our earlier conversation of like in these opening games, I would expect teams to be a little more conservative and set piece based. And I don't expect these opening games to be run and gun back and forth. Now, obviously, when you have some of your top tier teams going against some of your lower tier teams, like those teams are like the top teams are going to go run at them. They're not gonna sit back. But there's kind of an old adage that says set piece wins championships. So like corners, free kicks, that type of thing. Like that's a big deal at the professional level. A lot of goals happen off of what we call set pieces. So I would just be weary of like if it's two solid teams or even tiered teams like hitting overs. I hate to call one way or the other, but usually in these big international tournaments, they can have slow starts.
You hear that, Brian? So we're taking unders.
Okay, that's fine. For soccer, I will take unders because I just don't know enough about it. Like I will go off of what someone tells me to do for that because I don't know enough about it. Do have another question though. I know they always talk about a group of death for World Cup. Is there a group of death this year or not really?
I haven't heard a lot of talk about that, and it's probably just because it's watered down. Now, I'm sure if you look at it, if I had all the groups in front of me, I could probably pick one where I'd be like, oh, that's probably the hardest. But I felt like that was more of the talk when there was 32 teams. Like there was always like a third team that got put in with two other. And like, I just honestly, it's funny you say I have not really heard like that be a thing, but that was always a thing. It felt like when there was less teams.
That's what I mean. I feel like every year every time the World Cup came up, there was always one group that kind of either felt like they got screwed or it was just going to mean the beginning part was going to be fun to watch just because it was a bunch of good teams. So I was curious if that was still the case or not.
Yeah, and that always comes back to qualifying. So like that team that got put in as like a third, like sure your draw on your pod that they would have done could have, is definitely there's a little bit of chance of where you ended up there, but also like your qualifying dictates like what pod you get into. So at the end of the day, you always have like your, a little bit of control over where you go. But like kind of I guess a misconception of the World Cup is it's not like the top 48, because now it's 48. It's not the top ranked like 48 teams that go. Like there's better teams that didn't make the World Cup than that are in the World Cup. So like Italy, for example, and it's just because coming out of Europe is extremely harder than coming out of like the Pacific region or maybe the AFCON region. So it's not literally the top 48 teams. The World Cup is a representation of the whole world, and then there's different what they call federations. So like you have your AFCON, like we're in CONCACAF or CONCACAF, however you want to refer to it, but
CONCACAF.
Yeah, and so like Italy didn't make the World Cup, but they're a way more talented team than probably like half the teams that are in the World Cup. So that's kind of one of the nuances of the World Cup, I guess.
Yeah. Also, Mexico and Canada both got that A spot. Is that what we called it?
They did get they're in A-pods as host nations.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead, Brian.
I was gonna say, do you prefer this 48 team route compared to what it was previously, or do you?
Before you answer that, I'm looking through the groups right now, and it seems like there's no death groups. It just seems like like there's a bunch of teams, and you're like, okay, that team's probably going to make it. That team's going to make it.
It makes sense based on his explanation. Yeah, because it's just a bigger pool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it seems more diluted, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess to Brian's question, it was when this originally when they started talking about it, I was anti expansion, which I just like to qualify for the World Cup is actually hard. If you guys remember, like the U.S. didn't qualify 2 cycles ago, and we didn't qualify because we needed to get a result against Trinidad and Tobago and couldn't even do that. And it was absolutely maddening. But
my Ducks handled that pretty easily back in the 90s.
Yeah. So originally I was anti because it was like. It was like almost like a prestige thing. Like it was a big deal if you qualify for the World Cup. It still is. So like, think about it. It's an expanded field, and Italy still didn't make it. So like that was a catastrophic failure on their part. But then the tournament comes around, and you see all the games, and then it's kind of hard to be like, well, I'm not going to watch that. Like I'm going to watch so many games, and so like by the time it gets here, like you're pretty excited to just have like it's honestly like March Madness vibes. Like there's so many games, and so like at like all points throughout the day, like there'll be something on that you can just turn on, and like that's kind of cool at the end of the day.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, because I know a lot of people like I'm trying to compare it to like the NCAA and like both like football and basketball. A lot of people are upset that the basketball is moving or the football is moving to an expanded playoff. But like to your point, when it gets here. But I feel like this is different though because
we're gonna be like there's no playoff game.
We're not gonna be mad about it, but like college football feels different because it feels like there's a lot. Like there's some team like the top 5-6 teams are just so much better than everyone else. So like I'm just curious how that works out. Where I guess this is the same boat though because you got like Curacao in this, which it's probably not gonna stand a chance. And there's going to be teams in the college playoff that don't stand a chance.
But also, like, probably how cool is it for that country and
for
like the citizens of that country to like, they get to watch their team in a World Cup. Which, if it was 32 teams, like that would probably never happen. But like, when you bring up college football, I think one thing that like they need to be wary of, in my opinion, is like the one nice thing about college football was like the tagline was every game matters, right? And now they're talking about getting away from conference championship games, which are so embedded into a lot of these programs. And so, like at some point, too much is too much. I don't look at this World Cup, and it still feels like, you have a top team in each group, another one that's like, a contender that can really challenge them. And if things break right, like they can win the group. And then you have like 2 dark horse teams. So it kind of feels like you don't have that group of death, and each group kind of feels like, you have your 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, the nice thing with this is more opportunities for like Cinderella teams, which like I always kind of, buy in on. So,
Yeah, I mean, but like if they go further than this, then like that's probably where I would, start to really.
I feel like it'd be tough to go further than this.
It's hard, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 48 is. I mean, it's a big tournament. And that's probably why they're spanning it across 3 countries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Man, could you imagine having to take like an 8-hour flight?
Yeah, so I don't know where. Obviously, I don't know where everybody's playing their games, but I know for the U.S. specifically, they're in L.A. Then they play in Seattle, and then they're back in L.A. So like their travel's not too bad. All on the West Coast.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably being a host nation probably helped out with that.
That's what I was going to say. That has to be a host nation thing.
Yeah, they don't have to go from like New York to LA. That'd be insane.
Right. And just like football, right? Where it's like every year they release the schedule and it's like, oh, this team travels the most miles, this team travels the least miles. And then like that actually like factors into, 100%. Recovery and performance and all that. So I think, for US to stay on the West Coast and not be traveling, all across the country, I think that's a good move.
Do you know how spread apart the games are? So I'm assuming they all just play each other once, right?
Yeah. So so you play everybody in your group once.
Yeah.
And then, so I think it's once a week. So like we play Friday, then we play the next weekend. Then, because they're in the group play.
Are spreads in soccer usually like that wide?
I don't know in World Cup. I feel like in World Cup past, and I could be wrong on this, I don't remember them being spaced out literally a week at apart. But again, it's probably just because there's more games to be played. So you play one, then all the other teams got to play one. So it's probably just backlogged a little bit.
Man, it will be nice to have some sports on.
It will be. It'll be nice. Yeah.
World Cup's kind of like hockey, right? Where and like Four Nations comes around, everybody bought in. Like USA hockey's awesome. Like when you just, I don't know, at least for me, like when it's international, and I realize I'm a big soccer guy, I totally understand if that's not their thing. Like, I'm not the biggest baseball guy in the world, but that's okay. You know what I mean? Like I realize why people don't like soccer, and that's fine. But like World Cup Classic, what do they call it? The World Baseball Classic comes around, and like I'm bought in on USA baseball. Like when you put like your country behind it, I feel like it's easier to buy in, especially for something that comes around once every 4 years. So it's kind of cool for us to get this big tournament, and that's why I try to soak it in as much as I can.
Well, and I think it's cool that it's in, I think it's cool that we're hosting it, but I also think like not even if it's not even US, like even just seeing teams play for their country in general is cool. I don't know why. It just feels different compared to when they're just, you know what I mean? It just, even like, let's say USA doesn't make it to whatever, like however far they make it, it's still like you can tell how much it means to everyone, like Messi. That whole thing with him, like that was huge for the fact that he's able to win the World Cups. Like I think just all of it, like that part of it in and of itself, whether it's US or not, is just, I think it makes it more fun to watch personally.
Is Messi the most likable superstar of all time?
I mean, he really is. Like, it's just kind of funny because
no one hates him.
And like the GOAT debate where it's like Ronaldo is like, he's definitely a strong personality where it feels like Messi's not. And so it's kind of funny that they're so different, but both so good and both so good in different ways. And they play together in the same era. Like, that's crazy. I mean, it's legitimate. It's like LeBron and Jordan playing in the same era at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, they do play in different, well, now they do, and they were even in the same league. They were both in La Liga, Real Madrid and Barcelona. So, like, legitimately, it is like LeBron and Jordan being at the height of, and it was during both of their primes. Like, the fact that, like, we all got to watch this growing up, it's like, it's funny. I see memes all the time. It's like, this isn't normal. Like when these guys are gone, like it's like, obviously the game, always gets faster, more athletic, like Lamine Yamal is like the next, hot thing. Mbappe's out there obviously, but it's just like what you look at the stats that these guys put up and the stats of like the last Ballon d'Or winner, Dembele, it's like at the height of Messi and Ronaldo's, like when they were both just pouring goals in, like in one calendar year, Messi scored like 90 something goals. And that's absolutely insane. So it's just like they were head and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah, I'm sure it was kind of like the same kind of vibe when it was, Magic and Larry Bird in the 80s. Like obviously we weren't around for that, but I'm sure, they were trading championships every other year. So I'm sure it's like very similar.
And it feels like there was like a built-in rivalry, but also like, like you see like the 30 for 30 on, and then it became like a respect thing too. Like they're not like buddies by any means, but I think they're like pretty cordial. I mean, when you go to so many different award ceremonies and stuff and playing against each other, and obviously like, I mean, it's kind of funny, like to heckle Ronaldo, like when teams or like when fans get like mad at, like they'll chant Messi. Like that's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, just like random fans that aren't even involved.
Or
Different
like he
teams.
misses a pen or misses something, and then you'll hear the crowd start chanting Messi.
That's
and
awesome.
Like that he has to eat at him a little bit.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
I love that actually. That's awesome.
Man, I wish the MLS was bigger.
I know. I kind of do too.
Yeah, I think that's why I gravitate towards these international tournaments so much. Like growing up, here in the U.S., like football is obviously king, and you guys know I'm a massive Bengals and Notre Dame fan. So like I didn't grow up with like a diehard Premier League team, and I gravitated towards Napoli, for years now in Serie A, but it just doesn't hit the same, because I don't know, probably because we're here, but. So like that's why I've always like fully bought in. Like when U.S. is in and like you do your country's major tournament in between the World Cup. So you have we'll do the World Cup, and then sometimes we're in, sometimes we're not. If the Copa America, that's a whole other can of worms. But sometimes it's mostly South America. Sometimes we get the invite anyway. But like that's every 2 years. And then like the Euro, like when that comes around, so like you have your World Cup 2 years later, then you have your Euro, then the World Cup again. So it's just like, I don't know, when there's international tournaments, I just always buy. I think it's easier to buy in, especially for the casuals.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, you brought up the World Baseball Classic that brought so many hockey. Yeah. I mean, but like the baseball has gone way up since that World Baseball Classic, like a couple years ago when it was Mike Trout versus Shohei in the final, and Shohei ended up striking him out, and that's just built to what it was this past year. And I just wish there was more of, because like I would buy into soccer if like the MLS was somewhat relevant and it wasn't more like a retirement league for the most part.
Yeah, I mean they definitely have come a long way. Like,
I'm not saying they haven't. I'm sure in 20 years it could be something, but every league kind of starts a certain way, and unfortunately it's a lot newer with us.
Yeah.
Buying into
I think
it.
Europe will always be king. Like when the Europeans come over, and then they think about it, if you're just in Italy, if you're just in England, if you're just in Spain, like the travel that they have to come over and then do here in the MLS, and you travel all across America, like they're not used to that travel. And I know that that's like a complaint that they have when they come over a lot of times.
Yeah, because they basically just are in the state of Ohio.
Yeah.
And their longest drive or flight is from Cincinnati to Cleveland. That's like an hour flight.
Right. And then here you got to go from Seattle to Miami to, wherever you're. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's brutal. That's brutal.
I am curious.
All right, so who's your prediction?
I'm curious who has like. All right, here. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
What are you curious about, Brian?
Yeah, Brian, we want to know.
I think I know you said you don't know the answer to this, but I'm curious who has the most travel. Like I like when they show that in the NFL. I might look that up.
Yeah. Well, I think, and I'm not. I mean, because think about it, if you're all in your groups, right? So they're all going to be somewhat like regionalized, right? So like if we're playing in LA and Seattle and LA, that means the three teams that we're playing are playing in LA, Seattle, and LA. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to be. It's probably like. I don't know how it works, but then you get out of your group, and then depending on which group you're matched up with, how much travel they have, for that, I don't know about. But it's probably going to depend on who comes out of the knockout rounds, when and where these teams are all stationed. So it's a little harder than the NFL, where it's like, hey, we know everybody's home base, we know this is the full schedule. So because this is going to depend on results that happen in the group stage.
Yeah, see, that's a good point, because it's not like. That makes it a little bit more so everyone will travel similar amounts. Because in my head, I was thinking I wasn't thinking about it in the group aspect. I was thinking about it like some people might have to travel a lot further than others, but that makes sense. So they probably are all pretty similar, especially within a group, which is what matters at the beginning, at least.
If I had to guess, because they already know which groups are matched up with who, that when you get to the knockout rounds, that they're probably not scattered everywhere.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
You would think they'd probably take that into account, but yeah, for the group play, everybody I would think has pretty similar travel.
Okay, and then to go off Mike's real quick prediction, I have 2 questions. Prediction, like who do you think's gonna win, and then like honest prediction of how far you think the United States makes. I know you said like you want them to get to round of 16, but like what is your actual? If you had to put money on it, where would you have them finishing?
Yeah, I'll start with the USA. I think a legit
I think they really can get to the round of 16. And then again, like I said, just let the cards fall where they do. So, I kind of got onto that tangent earlier of anything can happen in soccer, right? A team, like I said, pokes an early goal, puts 11 behind, freak stuff. That's why they call it the cruelest game. It is not more often in soccer. It feels like on a percentage basis that the best team doesn't always win. Whereas like in football, unless you have like 3 turnovers in the red zone, right? Like normally, more often than not, the better team wins. Kind of same thing with basketball, especially when you get to like NBA with like series. Usually the best team pulls out in the series, right? A little different with March Madness where it's one and done and a team can get hot. But so I think it's really realistic without being a homer of expectations of USA to win the group. At a minimum, they got to get out of the group. And then again, if they win, then we're going to be matched up with a third place team coming out of their group. So we should be better than that team. So get to the round of 16. And like I said, just, weird things happen in soccer. So, and we just went toe to toe with Germany. So I think that's a realistic expectation without being a homer. And then who do I think wins? I mean, it's really boring or, it's no hot take. I mean, Spain's probably the most well-rounded, really great goalkeeper, but I kind of mentioned the firepower that France has. I mean, it's absolutely insane, which is funny because Mbappe's with Real Madrid currently right now, and it's a Guinness World Record of the most signatures of all time that the fan base wants him out, which is crazy because he's ranked as like on that ranking that I saw, I think it had Mbappe 1. But
I think I remember sending something about this. Yeah,
I said that too. Yeah.
Why would they want him out?
They felt like he
that's crazy.
Wasn't taking like the end of the season seriously. He was off. Like there was rumors of him like going on vacation with I think his girlfriend. Is like in the middle of the season, in the middle of a title race. For the Spanish league title.
Kind of like the Giants.
The
boat picture.
Yeah, the boat picture.
Yeah. So it's crazy that Mbappe is still like a top 5 player in the world, and to have that fan base, which is obviously a very passionate fan base, have that many signatures is insane.
That's crazy.
But yeah, France has the firepower. They're it seems like kind of all still in their prime. They're not too old. So it's hard to. I'm not going out on a limb here to pick the team that's been in the back-to-back World Cup finals and the second betting favorite, but I just think that they can put up on any given day. They can win they can put 3-4 goals in the back of the net, and that's kind of hard to keep up with. So they should play probably an exciting brand of soccer when you have that much attacking talent. They're not going. You wouldn't think they would sit back, but we kind of were going with the odds. Like I said earlier, for the odds, England's a pretty solid bet. And if you want to get into, the simulation of the world of let's get Messi and Ronaldo a World Cup, the odds for Portugal, they have a really great midfield. And to keep that GOAT debate going until the end of time, if Ronaldo pulls it off and gets a World Cup, like that would just be like, of course that happens.
I like it.
Yeah, I like adding the simulation bet. We live in a simulation bet.
Yeah. I mean, it would just be so on brand. Like, of course, they both end up winning a World Cup. Now who's splitting? How do you split the hairs of who is better?
I think. Obviously I want the U.S. to win, but I think that might be my favorite alternative. Is like
Portugal,
Portugal, like going down that route, just because.
With that being said, we haven't really talked about Argentina. Like, what's their?
Yeah, no, I mean they're right up there with them. It'll be interesting to see after Messi has been in the MLS for a handful of years now. I think a lot of people didn't expect him to take the MLS by storm and do as well as yet, with all the travel and everything. And he looks like the same Messi to me. Like he's still electric, still has that magic. So
they're plus 700.
Is that what it is? I was going to ask you what it was. Plus 700. So they're right there. Yeah. They're top 4 or 5 then, right?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you have arguably the best player in the world still, I mean, he's obviously getting up there, but I mean, there's arguably no more fun player to watch. It's still he's still playing at a peak level. He's killing it in the MLS. It'll be interesting to see him going up against all the top talent again. I think that's what everybody's kind of like wants to see. Like, is he still at that 4 years ago World Cup?
Or does he just look like he's good because he's playing against weaker teams?
I mean, there's definitely a component to that, but he's still pretty much dominating. Like he's electric in the MLS. I mean, it's pretty fun to watch, and he's half the reason a casual like myself of the MLS tunes into games. Like when he's playing FCC, I'm like, that's a game that I actually go out of my way to watch.
That stadium, I'm not sure if they built it yet. That soccer stadium in Miami, it used to be a golf course, and I've played like a bunch of tournaments there. It was actually a really good golf course, and Beckham bought it and is now turning it into like this. It's going to be a sick stadium. But I remember playing it a week before they shut it down, and then everyone was just talking about how like they were like, you know, some people were pissed, and it was because it's like it was one of the nicer, and Miami didn't have many like public golf courses, so that was definitely one of the nicer ones that they just completely destroyed for this, and it's because of Messi.
Yeah. So I guess I'll flip some questions on you guys. Is like being casuals that you are, like if let's say like two top teams are playing each other, like will you guys go out of your way to watch that, or is it pretty much just USA? And
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to probably bet throughout this whole thing, so I'll watch whatever's on.
I was gonna say I'll watch US when I can, and yeah, if there's like two top teams on, I'll watch it. Like I'll put it on. I don't know if I'll sit there and watch an entire game, but like I mean, it's a perfect. It's like you said, it's like March Madness, where it's just like probably constantly on the TV. You kind of just kind of have it on, even if you're not sitting there watching it. It's kind of on in the background, right? That's probably how I'll be. And then if it is like a big matchup, then I'll sit down. Like I'll kind of plan to sit down and watch it. Yeah.
Now, if there's a game on and the NBA playoffs are still going on and the NHL Stanley Cup's still going on, would I watch it over it? No.
I think I'd watch USA over, though. If I would watch USA over, like, the
Stanley question Cup for you, Mike. Would you watch USA, or you're probably locked into NHL or NBA?
Yeah. Okay.
But is it enough to have it on like an iPad or a side TV?
Yeah, 100%. But it's not going to be on the main one.
That's fair.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like it's not a detriment though, because you got to think like with the Stanley Cup final and the NBA finals on right now, it's going to be on during group play. So am I going to tune into USA playing whoever the hell, like USA Australia? Is that they're in the same?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah. No. Like
Knicks
that's not going to be the main
so
focus.
It doesn't even matter. Knicks are sweeping.
Knicks
so it's
are
going
to sweep. The Knicks are going to sweep. So by Thursday when it starts, it's not even anything.
You don't have to worry about it. Yeah.
I'll be doing the same thing, just opposite. If they're on at the same time, I'll have USA, obviously. Well, actually, I don't know, because I'll probably be with people watching it. If I was at home, though, I would have USA on the main TV with one of them on my NBA or NHL on my iPad.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's tough, but since we're on the topic, Spurs coming back or what?
No. I don't think so.
You're out?
Even though I said, what are the odds for Spurs
I've
in
been,
6? Just because we talked about it last week, but I'm out.
Aaron,
I'm definitely out.
Me and Brian have been texting back and forth, and I've been getting a lot of I'm actually curious on your thoughts, but I've been saying this to Brian that the Spurs do the exact same thing that OKC does. They flop, they act all tough, but since OKC was like the bad guys in the media this year, are you starting to see the same thing with the Spurs?
I mean, I'm more of a casual when it comes to the NBA, you know that, but I've been watching the playoffs. I haven't noticed it as much with the Spurs than with OKC, but I texted you guys that one thing that I like about the Knicks is they seem like they play hard.
Mm-hmm. They do.
Like offense and defense. Like I actually really like Josh Hart's game where like
Josh Hart's awesome.
How does he end up with like 12 boards at the end of a game? He just hustles his ass off.
It's all he does, man. He can't really shoot, so he's like one of the guys at the rec where he's like, you know what, I'm not that good, but I'm gonna try.
He knows his role.
I'm gonna try. Exactly, and he plays it well. And then then you have like the dynamic of the Villanova stuff, but like back to the flopping thing. Did you see that last second shot that Wemby shot?
Yeah,
he fell.
Yeah, I mean you definitely get into that desperation mode where like.
But they've been doing that. That's my thing. That's what I'm saying.
It's just me. It's very media driven. Like you're gonna get SGA more just because like that's what you see on your feeds is SGA more so than Wemby. But if you watch the Wemby stuff, like if you pay attention to it, You can see. I'm with you, Aaron.
That guy's on the floor more than anyone in the league.
Did you see the foul that Brunson had against him where he hit like the guy's hair?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't send it to you guys. I
saw
him
it with
and
the afro.
SGA next year.
Yeah.
When realizing he can get a foul with his hair. It's his afro that's like this big.
I will say that technical.
It's brutal, man.
That technical was one of the worst calls I've ever seen
yeah.
in basketball in my entire life. It was so bad.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
But I do think it's a lot
Brunson.
of.
I know I said it last week.
It's a lot of what.
Go
ahead.
No, go ahead.
All right. Well, it's going to completely change the conversation.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't need to say anything. Go ahead. Go. Go.
I was going to say it's the NBA's fault for just allowing how the game has progressed to what it is now. Because you know how people say like, oh, Jordan played against plumbers and whoever. It's because they weren't allowed to carry the ball, number one.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden you take hand checking away. And so it promotes flopping. And they call it and they fall for it all the time. So it's I think a lot of it is the players because they're trying to just go with what the rules are of today. But it's also the refs in the league need to get in and be like, yo, we're done with this. It needs to be more of a like it's kind of like what hockey does with penalties. Like embellishment is a 2-minute minor. Like if you flop in the NHL, you're out. So it's more of a league problem than a player problem.
Yeah, soccer obviously has its own issues with that, but I love when the ref actually breaks out a yellow card for, they call it simulation, like a guy trying to get a pen, and like I love when that guy gets the yellow when he dives, because it's like
that's how it
to your
should
point,
be.
like in major sports, it kind of drives me nuts that refs, they're such an integral part of the game, football, NBA,
baseball,
whatever, and it's like it's a profession that it's just like not held accountable, right? They don't have to take, they don't have to go on pressers. All the players do. And like, I know that's a point of contention in like with some of the lockout stuff with football and like the negotiations that they're doing right now, right? Where it's like, are the refs actually going to be held accountable in grading? And like, if you're not grading out as well, you don't still get games just because you're long tenured. Like, so to your point, Mike, it's like, like the somebody needs, whether there's a head referee, I don't know what it is, but it's like, we can't nobody wants to watch a free throw contest. Yeah. Like that's not fun. Like you gotta have, there's levels to it, but like when you start like calling all of the foul baiting in any sport, I'm not saying just basketball and soccer, whatever, it's not a good product to watch. Yeah. So it feels like it's gotten out of hand. The pendulum, it feels like it always swings one way or the other. It tries to overcorrect, and you kind of find a middle ground. It just takes a little while sometimes, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, they were doing the fine thing a few years ago. Sorry, Brian, real quick. They're doing the fine thing with flopping, but then they just stopped doing it. Now it's just getting even worse. And now, like Chris Paul was on the Pat McAfee show, and he was like, "Yeah, what they do, swinging their arms, trying to draw contact, and like obviously they went away from like jumping into the person or jumping to the side of the person to create the contact and get the foul. Like that's obviously a lot better. But now with like the throwing the head back or, like just falling down just to get a call, it just kind of blows my mind. Like if I was a ref, and I'm sure you guys are in the same boat, swallow the whistle. Like we're not fucking calling anything unless someone gets smacked
I think we've
in
talked
the head.
about that. I think we've talked about that with every sport, right? Whether it's NFL, like, because you're seeing it in NFL now. I think we talked about this not like as a group not too long ago. Like you're starting to see flopping in the NFL. Like there's certain people leading that charge. I'm not going to get into that conversation. But no, it's like to your point, like it's just kind of a way I don't know why, but it's the way it feels like all sports are going. Like March Madness this year. Like it was hard to watch at certain points. I know that was a topic of conversation. It was like a whistle every time someone got in the paint. Like it's just not as much fun to watch. Like I think as fans, we want to see that aggressive play style. We want to see some of those big hits. Like seeing some highlights from even the NBA playoffs where they don't call fouls. It's awesome because like guys are trying. They're trying their hardest, and when you can at least get a little bit of physical contact without there being a call every time, it makes the game so much more enjoyable to watch. Like I don't know. It feels like allows players to play with a little bit of passion and not just, I don't know. Like it takes the momentum out of the games. Like I can't stand it.
It's like cheating the game. like
Yes,
people are just
cheating
trying
the
to cheat the game rather than
Mhm.
they're trying to just. Yeah, I think it's partly
Game
on the
the
league.
system.
It's partly on the refs because the league needs to be on the refs being like, hey, what are we doing here?
Yeah, they need to be held more accountable.
The accountability
Yeah.
thing, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, and I vividly remember watching. I mean, Mike, you know this. You went to the games of the old Big East and how physical it was in basketball. I'm saying, and I vividly remember like watching an interview with Jay Billis, and basically him saying like it's gotten out of hand, or it was him saying like people want to see the skill of the game, and it feels like we just totally overcorrected. Like, yeah, the Big East was really physical. I gravitate towards that type of brand of sport in general,
Yeah.
but it feels like we overcorrected, and it's got to like find some sort of a middle ground where you can have that physicality that, like Brian said, like play with more of that passion and not just be like trying to get that, foul baiting, taking advantage of, type of the rule. Like you want to see like who's the, who wants to compete and who's the best team, not who's the best at getting the whistle.
Correct.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I saw a debate going on today. Is like, who would you rather have as your quarterback? And yeah, you can look at like all the accolades and stuff, but it was between Lamar, Cam Newton, and Mike Vick. And everyone was like, "Oh, Mike Vick couldn't stay healthy." All this. Mike Vick played in the like one of the dirtiest eras, like where you could actually hit the quarterback. Cam Newton, was kind of in between, and Lamar. Like, could you imagine if Lamar played in 2005? He'd be dead.
Yeah.
He'd be
He
dead.
already struggles with injuries.
Yeah, he
Exactly.
does,
Yeah. I just so like part of me, I'm like, I know Cam Newton won MVP, wins the Super Bowl, Lamar is too, but like Vic was getting destroyed,
Cam
and he was
Newton's
like one of the
physical,
only
man.
guys who was actually
Cam-
really scrambling. Yeah, I know.
I think
know.
Cam Newton
But
can
that
hold up to
ruined
it
his
though,
career.
just because he's a giant human being. Like he's just a freak.
If Cam Newton came out
Yeah.
now, his career would be 5 years longer.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, he was close. Though. I
think
mean,
the
it
wear
was.
and tear is
It
a
was
real thing.
yeah, it
He
was
was in
still,
between.
Like he was kind of in between. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
like
it's got
his
soft
early
now.
years, he was good. But after that, yeah. Then some people were saying how Cam Newton had brought no one to the Super Bowl, and I was like, bro, ever heard of Luke Kuechly and Steve Smith? They're pretty good.
I mean, Luke
anyway,
Kuechly's a Hall of Famer, and
Not-
he only played like
not
7
quite
years.
that. Not quite that Cavs LeBron comparison.
No,
No,
I don't.
Definitely
There's,
not.
His
not-
first go.
there's not-
the Cavs' first go around
there's
Yeah.
not many.
when he dragged that
Yeah.
team to the final. That's
yeah.
One of the worst of all time. There's not many that can stand up to that LeBron one. That one's insane.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of if
that
there's any
Ilgauskas?
other teams like that. I guess probably. Yeah,
Was that team? Yeah.
he was
What
a
a
problem.
name. Dude, he was.
I mean, he got swept in the finals, but
Yeah. That was nuts.
yeah. Anyway, so we're riding with. So we're all putting a few hundred down on U.S. winning it all, or what?
I am.
what I think would be fun is if all of us like we pick the odds, but to pick a country other than the U.S. and
Yeah, okay.
like make that your team, like
I'm in.
that
Make that our
be
team.
your quote
I'm in.
second team. Yeah, your second team to kind of stake your flag or plant your
Okay.
flag on.
Well, since
All right,
you're the
Aaron,
guest, we'll let you go
yeah.
first. Yeah.
Well, how deep are we talking?
Can't go France or Spain.
Yeah, you can't go into the top. Let me pull up these odds real quick. Hold on. World Cup.
Why were you gonna go Spain?
No, I wasn't
No.
going to Spain.
No, that's
They're
okay.
talking to me.
Brian, you're going like
I
Colombia or
got my
something.
team.
Dude,
No, I got my team.
James Rodriguez Magic. He's back.
Plus 4,000. I'm in.
All right, Aaron.
All right, Aaron.
Go ahead.
All right, I'll go with Messi for the repeat.
Yeah, that's fun. I kind of wanted to do. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to go next, Mike, or do you want me to go?
You got it.
I'm gonna do Portugal for the simulation bet. I'm going Portugal just because. Although I do like Messi more. Like I think as a casual fan, I think I've always leaned Messi for whatever reason. Like I think it's just his personality off the field too that just cracks me up. So like I've always kind of
I
liked
thought about
Messi.
going to England. Yeah, I thought about going to England, but I just don't. As a U.S., like it's kind of a rival.
It
in a way.
is.
I couldn't-
It
Can't.
is.
We beat
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
We beat them when it mattered.
For
for our freedom.
Oh god.
All right, I'll go Brazil.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, we
so
haven't
we're all
talked about
taking
Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
pick.
Are they good? They're plus
Yeah.
850.
They're always good.
Who's their guy?
Plus 900.
I mean,
DraftKings.
he's not their guy anymore, but Neymar made the squad, and it was somewhat of a controversial. It was somewhat of a controversial thing that he made it. They're probably their most dangerous attacker now is the name Vinny Jr. or Vinicius Jr. He's on Real Madrid.
Well, hold on. What's his name? His full name?
Vinicius Jr.
Vinicius? Is he a Greek god?
He might be a Brazilian god.
Yeah.
He's always dangerous. But yeah, the fact that we haven't even talked Brazil, that's a great bet.
Yeah. I mean, plus 850 on Hard Rock. So
Plus 900
Yeah,
on DraftKings.
They're always known to play like they kind of say it's like the Brazil way. Like they're a very showmanship, flair.
Oh,
like they're always fun to watch because they're just they're in a good way, like eccentric, fancy. Like they won't sit in. Like they'll go for goals.
And there's another reason I picked them is because Fast Five. So this is Brazil.
Great reason.
The peak of the franchise.
What do they have, like
great
a mascot kind of thing, or how people call?
Yeah, like England's like the Three Lions. I actually don't know what theirs is, or what Brazil's is, if they even have one.
Hold on, let me look it up. Brazil.
reach-
What would I even? Brazil's soccer
Yeah, I don't even know.
mascot nickname. Let's see.
All right,
Hopefully
Aaron.
it's
So to reach last 16.
pissed off, angry little canary. It's
That's not right.
no, that's what it's.
There's-
Canary, man. Pistola. I'm in, dude. What's the dude? Vinicius?
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
I'm Vinicius.
yeah. He's a. That's the right way to put this. He's a bold personality.
Spark
So
plug.
he's not afraid to. Yeah, he's not afraid to put himself out there and into the mix. He's.
I mean, with a name like that, you have to.
Yeah, well, that's also probably why he's good too. He doesn't care, and he'll do whatever he needs to.
That's awesome. Hell yeah. All right.
Real quick. So we know we talked about this earlier. To reach last 16, USA is plus 110. So it's kind of where you said. Kind of where you expect them to
Yeah,
be.
it makes me feel.
Yeah,
Yeah, it makes me
yeah.
feel like not a homer. That's perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like that. Plus
What
110.
are they? Can you see what they are to make the next round?
Let's see. Quarterfinal.
Yeah.
They are a lot worse. Where is it? What the fuck is it? Hold on. There's no way. They're not even listed. Oh, there they are. Plus 275.
Reach
It's still
quarterfinal.
pretty good. Yeah, plus 275.
Yeah.
Like that's higher than I
Yeah.
expected.
And if we were to win our group, obviously that would probably then change those odds like for the better. So yeah, big deal to win the group. It would go a long way to get to hitting that bet,
Plus 750 to get semifinal. So
I got 850.
which would be our best finish ever.
I don't love those odds then.
I saw a stat today actually that since the World Cup has started, which I want to say was like 1930, the first one ever was in Uruguay, then they actually won. But I think only 8 countries, if I remember the stat correctly, since it has started, have ever won the World Cup. Only 8 countries in the world have won the World Cup.
Oh, you
Interesting.
sent that.
Did I send that to you guys?
Yeah.
So it's like, Germany, Brazil, Uruguay, England's only won it once. Italy, I think, has won it 3 or 4 times. Only 8 countries ever have won the World Cup.
Where'd you send that at? Did you send that on Instagram?
Can't remember.
Yeah, I'm looking through all the chats. Only 8 countries ever have won the World Cup since the first one, 1930.
Mm-hmm.
Brazil has
That's
5,
crazy.
Germany 4, Italy 4, Italy not even in it. Argentina 3, France 2, Uruguay 2, Spain 1, England 1. That's wild.
And I think the Netherlands have made the most second place. Have made the final. They've made the final the most and never won. They've made it at least 3 times and have never won the World Cup.
Damn. That's wild. Brazil has 7 final games and 5 victories.
Yeah, that checks out. I mean, that country's massive, so and it's their
Their sport.
peak sport. Yeah, they're getting massive country. All their best athletes are playing soccer.
Nice. Brian, you got anything else? Any Bengals talk you want to get off your chest or?
No, nope. This is a soccer episode with a little bit of basketball and Cam Newton mixed in. So.
It was Michael Vick,
very-
okay? It was more about
Yeah.
him.
Okay.
Have some respect.
Yeah. Sorry.
Greatest
Apologies.
Madden player of all time.
He is the greatest Madden player of all time.
Played Madden 04. Guy was a cheat
Yeah,
code.
right after Vince Young.
Well, Vince Young just had a hit stick. Like Vic had like the Bo Jackson where you can like run way
No,
and then just run back around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might want to be one of the best video game athletes that what was it?
Of all
07
time.
Madden.
Yeah.
Absolute cheat code.
Ooh,
Was it
Vince Young?
05? Was it 05?
No, Vic.
Oh, Vic
Yeah,
was
was it
04.
05? It was 04.
Okay.
Before he was on the cover. I mean,
Yeah.
they just were like, hey, this guy's got the cover. Has Lamar been on the cover?
No.
He's got to have. No? But
don't think
Caleb
so.
Williams has.
It's your city, Brian.
Well, they're about to be playing in Indiana. They're about to be the Indiana
it is.
Bears.
That's true.
The
Indiana
hand of
Bears.
Indiana Bears. That is
Insane.
your city. They're just trying to leave. I don't have like a Trey Hendrickson thing with. I don't have any Bengals trash talk I can give you this year.
There isn't. I mean, we're in June. It's like there is no.
I know, but
nothing to
last
talk
year
about.
it could be like, what's going on with Trey after every episode? It'll be
Yeah,
like,
we got
how
a
we feeling about this?
drama free off season for once. It feels like, which is nice for the first time
I mean,
in
I
5
can
years.
go like the Burrow route and be like, staying out this year. How's that wrist? How's that
He kinda
ankle?
stinks.
How's that
Yeah.
foot?
You're not gonna get me. I'm not getting baited into this right now.
I'm
you're
not trying to get you. I'm just trying to think of something to ask you. Like, how are we feeling? Like, what's the
I
vibe
feel
in the
good.
building?
I think the vibe is really high in the building. Honestly, it
How
like,
do
and I
you
think
know
that's
that?
what, just based on what all the players are saying. I think Joe Burrow even said it. Was it this week or last week? He said the vibes haven't been this good in the locker room since the year they went to the Super Bowl. So there you go. That's how I know.
Oh yeah. Actually, out of curiosity, since we're on the subject, and you asked about a U.S. NFL team, what are the betting odds for the Bengals to win the Super Bowl? And would you say U.S. is plus 6,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's
So,
actually.
I
Let's
mean,
see.
Are they even up right now?
No, they're up. Yeah, I've already placed them on the Bengals to win
So
the Super
who's
Bowl.
plus 6?
So it's gonna sit there for a whole year.
Yeah, of course.
You're just gonna look at it.
Yeah, the odds they changed, man. Since I placed
So
it.
who's plus 6,000 to win the Super Bowl?
Let's see.
Oh, the Bucks are plus 5,000.
That's
The Commanders-
yeah.
the
That was
Commanders.
we settled on that comp. I feel
Yeah.
pretty good about
the
that.
Commanders
We
are
nailed it.
plus 6,000, and the Giants are plus 6,000.
Commanders is a good one too.
I feel like that's a pretty
Honestly,
big
those are
drop
all-
off from the
yeah.
Bucks.
I would take the Bucks over. I don't know. I'm not a.
Colts are also
all
plus
these.
5,000, which is
Vikings are
Bengals?
also plus 5,000. We talked about them as well.
Which
Okay.
like I don't know what it was, but if you what do you think that the Seahawks Super Bowl odds to win at the beginning of last season were? Had to be in this range or worse, right?
Yeah, it had to be. Yeah, it had to be.
Yeah.
I think I saw
Yeah.
something. I think we talked about this at the end of the football
Rams are up to
season.
plus
like,
550.
yeah, it's nuts.
Got 300
It's almost
points.
like
It's nuts.
it's almost like Eagles' dream team starting to sound.
Yes,
starting
I
to feel
know.
like that a
Yes.
little
I
bit.
know. I don't want to talk about it. That was a good.
But yeah.
That was a good offseason.
That was a good offseason. Bears are
Who-
plus
Aaron, who do you-
2,500. Shit.
Aaron, who do you think has better odds to win the Super Bowl? The 49ers or the Eagles?
Since you're asking me the question, I'm going to say the 49ers.
They're the same.
That's your question. Set me up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Gotcha.
surprised with all the substation stuff that they're even up
Oh,
there.
yeah, I know. How do you
Yeah.
feel about that? Your team is equal with the substation team to win the Super Bowl.
People
it's
love
brutal.
to hate on greatness. So maybe I should throw something on there. They're better than the Bengals odds, though. I'll tell you that.
I have
Who knows,
the
maybe
Bengals
Kyle
plus
Allen
2,000.
Kyle Allen will just scare all the corners away.
The Eagles at plus. Yeah. Isn't that the goal?
with his eyes.
Yeah.
AJ Brown is too likable. Reading books and shit.
Yeah.
Starting rumors against his team. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
There was a
He did it to help. He did it to make the team better, though. So that's all that matters.
Well, they won a Super Bowl, so
They did
what are you laughing at? What are you
You know
laughing
what?
at, Brian?
You know what, Mike? I'm glad AJ Brown's not on the Eagles anymore. I'm happy for you.
Thanks, man. Me too.
Yeah, I'm happy for you.
Me too. I was one of the biggest AJ Brown defenders too.
It does feel like the Eagles totally won that. Like just that whole AJ Brown saga, what they brought him in for, win a Super Bowl, 4 peak years of him, and then get a first rounder again. It's like
That's wild.
ultimate GM.
Like this guy is
Yeah,
insane.
and all it cost was some dead money. Like it's so worth it in those situations.
Yeah.
like that's
And they cut it in half because they had to wait for June for some reason.
Yep.
That dumb rule.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, got some NFL in there for you, Brian.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Just wait till we get to August. We're almost there. We're basically there. So just wait till we get there.
Once all we have to do is get to July 4th, and then we're basically
And then
in
we're
September.
basically correct. Exactly. That's exactly right.
Brian Miles and Brian would be like, "Oh, it's almost 9 o'clock," and it was like 8:05.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's how my brain works, which might
Yeah,
explain.
I mean,
I don't know.
yeah, we don't really need to dive into that.
Not today. That'll be like a mid-July episode. Mid-July when we got nothing else to talk about.
Title episode is diving into Brian's head.
Yes, exactly.
Brian's brain.
Have
Yeah.
just random people DMing us like, "Hey, we'd like to bring Brian in for a study."
Yeah. I think we can help him.
Can't. All right, follow us at Traveling Athlete Pod on all the stuff, and at Athlete Pod on X. And thank you, Aaron, for
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Aaron.
for
'Cause
joining.
Our episode would have
Thanks for
been
having me.
about 4 minutes of us just guessing who's going to win,
Yeah.
and that would have been the end of it.
Yeah.
Looking up names, not
I'll
being
see
able
you
to
guys
pronounce
in
them.
4 years.
And we would have gotten text saying you guys have no idea what the hell you're talking about from Aaron. So now we don't have to do that.
Well, yeah, exactly. But
Maybe we'll
all
do
right,
a recap episode once it's over.
Brian. Oh, yeah.
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 When you come back from China, and you're not going to
correct.
see a single game.
Honestly,
Probably
that'd be
not.
a great way to pass the flight.
That's why I said earlier. That is, I am planning on flight watching it, but that's why I said of what I will watch because I don't know how much I'm actually going to be able to watch for the
Yeah.
next couple weeks. So
You can box score watch.
we'll see. I can box score watch for sure. Yeah, I'm going to wake up to a bunch of news. It's going to be great.
Yeah, that's how it was in Egypt with the NFL.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Brian. Anything else to say?
No. I'm out.
Oh, shit. We gotta do it again, dude. Left the lens cap out.